Alright guys, it's hot out here today and you're going to get to see me sweat. I have targets set up at 111, 156, and 206 out there at the range. So, as I shoot, we're also going to talk about my relationship with firearms. Let's see if we can knock down this 100 real quick. 22 long rifle. It is a Remington 597. They only made them for a couple of years. They don't make them much. And this is my second gun I've ever owned. And we'll get into that story in a minute. Let's see if we can knock down 100 here. Alright, there's 100. 4-inch plate, 4-inch plate, and 6-inch plate, respectively. The first gun I ever owned was a Breakover 410. My father gave it to me when I was 10 years old. This wasn't something I was allowed to run the woods with. This wasn't something I was allowed to take out on my own. But it was something that when we were out dove hunting, he gave it to me opening morning, that I was allowed to carry myself and hunt with myself. And he was always fairly close. He'd send me off to flush birds every once in a while, no more than 50 yards away from him and always in his line of sight. But it was my first true sense of responsibility with the gun. And we had a huge talk that morning, because we had to drive a couple hours, about what a firearm was capable of, what it meant, what the repercussions were for failing to be responsible. Something that stuck out that he told me, and it sounds a little dramatic, is this isn't your BB gun. You don't get to make oopsies. Because if you make an oopsie with this, someone dies. And we talked about what it meant to hold that responsibility of even potentially somebody's life in your hand. And I was responsible for taking care of the rifle. I was responsible for buying some of the ammunition. Of course, I was 10. He helped me out with it. It is what it is. See if I can hit 150. Now, I don't know where my hold is, so it may take me a couple of shots for 156. But I have a pretty good idea of where it's going to be. We'll call that choice ammo. I don't know if y'all can tell, it sounded a little different. I don't think that was a good round. There we go. It's 156, second shot. I would argue my first shot was I'm not shooting quality ammo here. I'm shooting some really old Winchester Super X's. So it is what it is. Don't look at the Remington Hyper Velocity. This is just what I use to carry my ammo in when I go out squirrel hunting and things. The second gun I ever owned was this gun right here. And it was given to me when I was 13 years old as a Christmas gift. And I was allowed a lot more leniency with this rifle. It originally came with iron sights on it. I went and picked out a scope for it a couple months later. I was working for my grandfather on the ranch at the time, doing a lot of chores, odd jobs, keeping up with cows, things like that. And I used to carry this with me. On the front of the four-wheeler, we used to have a big gun rack on the front of the four-wheeler. And I would carry it with me out to the field. And I would run the woods with it. I have put thousands and thousands of rounds to this gun. I was responsible for buying all of the ammo for it. And again, when I was given this, we had a talk about responsibility. We talked about how even though it's a small round, how devastating it can be to property and how devastating it can be to people, and how serious it actually was. And being told that responsibility and being warned of the repercussions, both physically to myself and others, and mentally, and what I would have to live with if I had an oopsie, because there's no oopsies with firearms. And so, I mean, I was allowed to really carry and use this a lot, and I think it really taught me a lot about how firearms work and how to be safe and responsible. Let's see if we can hit 206 here real quick, and then we'll just start playing around. I bet you could hear that in the background. That was 206. It also taught me a lot about life and death, because I did a lot of hunting with it. Me and my brother, we would go out, we'd go camping in the woods around on weekends and things like that. We'd build lean-to shelters, we built fires, real redneck stuff, I guess, or survivalist stuff, or country boy stuff. We'd fish and we'd cook what we killed and eat it just out there. We'd raid the pantry for spices and herbs and things like that, and we'd cook soup and other things. But I really think, and this is not me telling you what to do with your own children, but as a 30-year-old man now with 2 kids of my own, both of them far too young to learn about firearms these days, and given I probably won't do the same things my father did, you should start your kids early. Explain to them what a firearm is, what it's capable of. Remove the mystery. Take them out shooting, take them out doing things, so that they can learn and grow around firearms. And they also begin to understand responsibility. And quite frankly, it makes your kids better shots. So now we're going to do it in succession. We're going to do 100, we're going to do 156 and 206. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can get it done. Don't know if I have the ammo for it. I do. Oh, missed 206. Ooh, missed 206 again. That might be a little high on it. And we're empty. I didn't have enough. 206 again. All I'm saying is that there is a way to get your kids involved, teach your kids about firearms, and especially, YouTube is going to eat me up for this, young men. Something about having that responsibility and explaining that responsibility really changes your outlook on life and death and responsibility and working around dangerous equipment, to include firearms. And I think it's something that everybody has to make their own decisions about when raising kids. but should definitely be approached. And there's our hit. Let's do 150 again, or 156. There we go. And we'll shoot 100 a couple of times. Felt the fire. Stovepipe. We'll call that good. Alright guys, if you sat through this video and my ramblings, thank you. And we'll do it again sometime. I'll edit this up a little bit. Maybe condense my thoughts, do a little bit of a voiceover. But I just thought about the state of the world today and how much could be changed if we talk to our children about serious issues, serious topics, and in so doing also removed a lot of the mystery surrounding dangerous things, firearms, vehicles, in my case and where I live, tractors. You know, if we could somehow impart on our kids the importance of safety, being safe, and the consequences of failure when it comes to very dangerous things, I think the world might change just a little bit. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you again next time.